We continue our look now at risks to the global economy with insights from Mauro Guillen, author and professor at the Wharton School of Business. Philip Yin spoke to Professor Guillen about growth in emerging economies and how it's leading to imbalances in the global economy.
Well, the rise of the emerging economies such as China or Brazil or India, that's good news, obviously, because a lot of people who are poor are now in better shape than they were 10 or 20 years ago. But the rise of these economies, has come in certain ways at the expense of trade and investment and other types of economic activity in other parts of the world. And so this massive growth of emerging economies is causing problems in other parts of the world, especially in the high-income countries, in the United States, in Europe, in Japan, and they have to adjust to this. And the rise has been so sudden of the emerging economies that they haven't had enough time, really, to adjust. It is in that sense that we argue in the book that the imbalances are hard to cope with.
A follow-up on that, when you say they need more time to adjust, how much time do you anticipate will it take?
Well, most of the big increase has taken place over the last 8 years or 10 years since 2001. That was the year that China entered the WTO. So I think it may take another 5 to 10 years. And look, all of this is, of course, coming at a bad moment for Europe, for the United States, for Japan, because they have a big fiscal problem, and they're trying to get out of the global financial crisis that started in 2008. So all of these changes are just coinciding in time, and that's why we argue that it's going to take a while for the high-income countries in the world to adjust to the new situation.
You go on to say in the book that China will be the largest in terms of output during the 21st century, but at the same time you acknowledge that it faces multiple challenges over the next couple of decades. What are the main risks now that China, in terms of what China faces now?
Well, looking down the road, the Chinese economy faces several important challenges, including, of course, the development of the domestic market. The economy has been relying for too long on exports, and it needs to turn inwards a little bit towards the domestic market. But there's also other types of challenges, not necessarily economic. A very important one is financial in nature, which is the convertibility of the currency and preparing the country, the economy, the institutions, the banking system, everything for that transition. China needs to have at some point a convertible currency. And then, of course, there are other types of challenges, including the environmental challenge. As we know, in China, there's been, as a result of industrial development, quite a bit of damage done to the environment. And of course, we shouldn't forget about population aging. The Chinese population is aging very quickly.
You also address poverty in the book as well. And you acknowledge that while income inequality across the countries has decreased overall, it's increased within some countries. Why do you believe this is especially alarming?
Well, I think this is a problem because it is going to provoke political tensions. This is taking place, unfortunately, both in high-income countries like Europe or the United States, and also in emerging economies. And there's multiple reasons for this. Some of them are technological in nature. Others have to do with job losses, because of loss of competitiveness. But this is troublesome because, there's going to be political tensions as a result of this. When incomes for certain parts of the population stagnate for too long, and when the people at the top essentially make more and more money, that's a recipe for tension, for friction, and eventually for political problems, as we've seen, for example, in the Arab world during the Arab Spring.